Joe Walsh has long been seen as the easygoing clown prince of rock, cracking jokes on stage rather than hurling insults. So the latest buzz, and video clickbait, that Walsh finally named 6 artists he hated has shocked fans. In this report, we unpack the context, why any such list is a big deal, what disagreements might lie behind it, and whether Walsh has actually aired these grievances in public. Despite his jokester image, Walsh has had his share of behind-the-scenes fights. Over the years, he's collaborated with legends, from the Eagles to Ringo Starr's all-star band, so any beef he names grabs headlines. Rumor videos promise shocking revelations about creative clashes, personal rifts, or industry politics. In truth, Walsh usually uses words like hate tongue-in-cheek. For example, he once joked he really hates his new guitarist simply because he's really good, and pushes him to play harder. That same 2002 interview also shows Walsh calling Don Henley his favorite Eagle, so he's no stranger to praising fellow musicians. Nevertheless, Walsh has hinted at hard feelings in the past. He openly blamed record executives for sabotaging his first solo band Barnstorm, saying his label did everything to bury the album so he'd go back with the James Gang. That 2025 interview suggests Walsh has no fear of criticizing industry powers that be, which could count as one of the 6 targets. At age 77, perhaps in life review mode, he's active with his Vets Aid charity and autobiography. Walsh may finally be clearing the air. Musician number 1, Don Felder. The unexpected feud. A top candidate is Eagles guitarist Don Felder. Felder was fired in 2001 after a protracted legal battle, and reports say Walsh sided with Don Henley and Glenn Frey during that dispute. Felder himself told reporters he was surprised at how much venom Frey and Henley held toward him, and he even sued the band and was countersued over it. If Walsh held a grudge, it would explain Felder's ban from playing Eagles tribute shows. However, Felder insists he harbors no ill feelings toward Walsh. "I love Joe," he told Arizona's Republic newspaper, so any animosity might be one-sided rumor. Musician 2, Randy Meisner. A rivalry revisited. Some fans point to bassist Randy Meisner, who co-wrote Life in the Fast Lane with Walsh. Meisner left the Eagles in 1980 under a cloud of tension with Henley. There's no solid quote of Walsh attacking Meisner, and Walsh's interviews don't single him out. It may simply be another case of Eagle lore and speculation. Musician 3. Don Henley. The silent treatment? Another name that surfaces in tabloid rumors is Don Henley, the Eagles' co-frontman. This would be quite a shock, since Walsh has publicly praised Henley, even calling him "my favorite Eagle." In fact, Henley's relations with other bandmates have sparked plenty of stories, but Walsh has never publicly lashed out at Henley. If this were on Walsh's list, it would be unexpected indeed, and there's no reliable source confirming it. Musician 4. Creative clash. The 4th musician might be someone from Walsh's broader circle who clashed with his vision. For example, he's hinted that outside forces stifled his music. Barnstorm was his first big creative statement, and Walsh says his old James Gang management and record label wanted to discourage the project. He never names names, but presumably he hated the executives and managers who tried to bury his album. We have no citation of Walsh hating a specific singer or guitarist on this front. It's more about creative control. Musician 5. Personal fallout. Another plausible target could be a one-time friend or associate with whom things went sour. Walsh's autobiography and interviews suggest that by age 77, he's done with petty grudges. In 2002, he said, "We're done with most of the craziness, and focused on just working at our craft." This hints that any personal beefs from the past have mostly cooled off. We haven't found a trustworthy source of Walsh blasting, say, an old tourmate or collaborator by name. His mentioned hate has been more humorous than heartfelt. Musician number 6. Industry insider. The final name on Walsh's alleged list may not even be an artist at all, but a high-level industry figure. Walsh explicitly blamed his record company for limiting his success. He said his label and ex-management didn't want me to leave the James Gang. This suggests Walsh's real target might be a record executive or manager, the powerful insider behind the scenes. One could imagine he'd reserve strong words for an A&R chief or business manager he felt wronged him. In other words, the musician he hated could ironically be a music business titan rather than a fellow performer. By now you might be asking, what's the point of dredging up these ancient squabbles? The Eagles saga in particular shows how jealousy and ego can boil over. For decades, Henley and Frey ran Eagles like a dictatorship, controlling songwriting, image, and money. As Felder noted, only their own material got finished easily, while others' ideas were often set aside. It's easy to see how musicians like Walsh or Felder could feel slighted when band leaders made all the calls. Beyond that, labels in the 1970s often saw star artists as assets to lock down, as Walsh complained about his barnstorm day. Walsh himself seems to have tempered his views over time. In interviews, he now jokes about the past and focuses on music and charity. He once quipped about his new guitarist, "Sometimes I really hate him, 'cause he's really good," a far cry from personal venom. And Walsh has said he's done with most of the craziness and just making music. Even Don Felder, once at the center of Eagles conflict, publicly stated he would gladly play with Walsh again and feels no ill feelings toward him. What can we learn? These rumors and confirmed feuds underscore ego and control as the true enemies. In rock history, many bands have fallen apart when some members' voices dominate, as with Eagles, or when business pressures sour relationships. As one list of music feuds notes, personality clashes and corporate battles are often more explosive than musical disagreements. Walsh's case suggests that the hated names might say more about power struggles and wounded pride than genuine hatred. The legacy of dissent in your take, whether Walsh actually spent years seething against six peers, or this is mostly clickbait, the story adds color to rock lore. It reminds us that even legendary bands had their dark undercurrents. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Do these names seem believable? Are there other artists you'd guess Joe Walsh might have had beef with? Sound off in the comments below with your theories. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into rock history, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more exclusive behind-the-scenes stories from the music world.